We are here with guest Terra Renae, who has a very interesting story. Originally from Louisville, Kentucky. We'll get to where you live now here in a second, Renee. But she just got Terra, rather. She just got off tour with Macy Gray, who discovered her, and just touring Europe actually, and she's back in the States now. Her new single "Ignite Me" was released last month, and Terra's debut album came out, I believe. Tara, when did the debut album come out?
This past March, yeah. This
Okay,
past
wow. So
Oh,
everything's
okay.
happening really fast, kind of happening around. And you know what? I'm just going to leave it with that, and we're going to get right into it because I think
March.
we can kind of go from the beginning. You've got to. I love that. I was thinking about this earlier, Vic. We always have guests, and everyone kind of has a story, and it's like triumph through tragedy, that kind of stuff, and it's always interesting to meet new artists and kind of get their story. But it always is like there's a lot of overcoming to be done, if you will, Vic.
Mhm.
So and Terry, you're no exception here. I don't know how personal you're willing to get with things, but let's start here with okay. You were raised by your Filipino mother who immigrated to the U.S.
Yeah.
Uh, Encouraged from a young age to pursue your dreams. You spent some time in early choirs and school plays, uh, stuff like that laid the foundation for what you would become later as a singer. But then it says, okay, so this is my question. Vocal strain during a pivotal audition in Los Angeles changed everything. And then you ended up, I guess, kind of walking away from music, having to sort of put that aside, and then went to school and got a doctorate's degree. So we'll talk about that. And then you
Yeah.
came back, started singing again. Lo and behold, Macy Gray discovers you, and here you are. So it's a
Here we
lot to be discussed here.
Yeah, so you're exactly right. I sang from a very early age. I always did plays and choir, and I'm naturally more on the introverted side of things. And whenever I auditioned, I always auditioned for maybe like the backup role. I never went for the primary lead. And I always say that's an important part of, my personality because that audition I took as a 13 in my 13-year-old mind as when it didn't go the way that I wanted, I almost thought, oh, actually, I'm going to backtrack. Sorry, guys, I'm sick and my brain is so mush. Um, but being an introvert and going into that big audition and being told no and not making it through the final audition. Oh my God, guys, are we live? Can I just rewind all the
No, don't worry. Don't worry. This is me and Vic all the time. You're fine. So I say me and Vic. It's really me. But let me ask you: the what?
2 hours post tour? Like, oh, holy crap! Let's just restart.
Oh, how many people get to be like, my mind is mush because I just got off touring Europe with Macy Gray? I think you have a perfectly fine excuse.
What are you trying to say, Tara?
This is an outrage, Vic. All right, pulling the plug on this. Can't do it.
This is
Unprofessional.
okay. All right, let's just start back to guys. I sang ever since I was a little girl. There was a local competition that happened in Louisville. I made it to the finals. I was about 13 years old at this point in time. Finals went all the way out to LA for my Filipino mother and I. We never traveled. We never really took vacations. So this was a huge deal to take time off and to sacrifice a lot to get us on this trip out to LA. So I think my 13-year-old self really put a lot of pressure on myself to do unbelievably well.
Yeah.
And I think because what I was alluding to in that I have a little bit more of a introverted personality in that I didn't get, I think, as much of the reassurance of being the primary role as maybe that I should have growing up from outside sources other than my mother because I was always just auditioning for the backup role. And so this was finally a moment in time where it's like, man, you ended up getting the lead role and now your lead role is going to take you out to LA. Let's see what you can do. And when I not failed, during that audition, what I remember was nothing really would come out vocally, and they wouldn't let my mother back into that audition. And I never really quite understood what happened because I was 13 at the time. I didn't understand medical conditions, and I didn't have a lot of private training. I only had choir training, group training. And what I got from that training was when you learn a song, you just sing it over and over and over again. And I got a big old belty voice. So what did I do? I chose a big old belty song for my 13-year-old body, and I sang that big belty song over and over again. And of course, as now that I'm older and you reflect upon what you did, I've lost my voice so many times now where I'm like, oh my God, you strained your vocal cords. But in your 13-year-old mind, you took it as, oh my gosh, I just shouldn't be singing. What did I do wrong? Everybody lied to me. And when the reality was, no, honey, you just didn't train correctly. And I took that, unfortunately, as a moment to stop because I thought everybody was lying to me. And my mom asked me, what happened in that audition? And I told her, I was like, I don't know. I wasn't any good. I don't ever want to sing again. I don't want to
Do,
go on stage again.
do you, when you sang, was there stage fright that affected things, or did you feel like you had overly strained your voice, or just a combination of all those
No,
things? Yeah.
100%. Because
Yeah.
then, you add I'm just naturally just kind of shy and I was terrified. So you add being terrified, being 13, not understanding, proper stage presence or how to prep for that. And then I strained on top of that. It was a mess. It was
Uh,
a mess.
just a side note, I think you should do a Halloween song called "Terrified." I think that would.
Do you have no idea how many jokes I got in high school for
Oh,
for
really?
Tara the terrible.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, well, okay.
it was more or less a joke. My math teacher, thank you.
We're bringing up bad mememories. That's what we do here. Remember that horrible audition and how people hated your name in high school?
So now that we got that out of the way, but yeah, unfortunately, that is something that it was so traumatic for me. And we flew back home. My mother never understood why and why I never wanted to sing again. I was like, I just don't want to go back on stage again. I can't go through that again. And
Wow.
after that, I kind of led to modeling because it was a way for me to still be on stage and still do the entertainment part of it without having to speak.
Hmm.
And but in addition to that, I lost my dad at a young age, and my mom basically said, well, if you're not going to go, balls to the wall on singing like we've been doing for the past 7 years, then you need to figure out something, because our father left, and my mom had to figure it out. And she always really instilled within me, you can't depend on anybody else. So if you're not going to go the singing route, you need to figure out something else to take care of yourself. And
Are you an only child, or do you have siblings?
I do. I have one older sister.
Okay.
Hmm.
I was thinking when you were talking about that audition, and I didn't experience anything that early on, but I definitely think it's hard, and I think the vocals are just this whole nother level of complexity as an instrument as well, right? Because you can't control. It's like you can kind of power through other things if you're sick, depending, right? Unless you're just deathly ill, but with
Yeah.
vocals, you're screwed. And I was never like a train. I mean, I'm a trained musician. I've never been a trained singer, but I've
Mhm.
sang for years now, and kind of by default, and I got more and more confidence in my voice as I've done it longer. I used to be terrified and hate it, and I still have that. I still have anxiety sometimes, but I know it. The feeling of feeling like something is off with your voice is the worst. And I had this scare last year where I was prepping for this gig, and I was trying really hard to make it a big gig, and everything was going wrong. I wasn't getting sleep and all this and that. And I started losing my voice, and I was absolutely freaking out because I can't recall experiencing what I did then. And I was like, man, I'm really worried that something has gone wrong with my voice. And fortunately, I got through the gig, I bounced back. But I mean, I don't know if it was you don't know, right? It can be stress, lack of sleep. There's all these components
100.
that are and the mental state. So I do think, like, once that happens and you're mentally in your head, you're in trouble.
Right.
Because if you got the confidence, you're going to go out there and kill it, right? But I think so much of it is mental for singing, and I don't think that translates as much on other instruments. I mean, practice makes perfect, right? Like that whole thing. It's like if you play something enough on another instrument, you're going to have a comfort level with it. And there might be variables and, what people make mistakes. But I think with vocals, even if you are 100% confident with a song, something changes in your body and your mind. Now we're dealing with a different animal.
100%. So, and to think that we can have like that maturity now to kind of walk through that process of, well, okay, I understand I'm doing this and I need to get over this. Especially when you're younger and that happens at such a young age, forget about it. You don't know how to find yourself or navigate through that. You're just lost.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
With the people that you're working with now, like now that you're up in this sort of upper echelon, working with world-class producers, Macy Gray, are you getting advice? Have you learned anything about your voice just from working with these people, like
Oh,
tips or, that kind of stuff?
so much. Well, now I tell you what, Macy Gray put me through what we joke as a pop star boot camp the first year that I
Sure.
met. And it was anything you could possibly imagine, from cardio and singing. And you better believe I had to film it and send it to her
Heard
at the end
heard all
of
about this. I've heard all
every.
about this. Yeah.
And from to writing lyric concepts, writing song concepts, to learning a variety of singing styles, anywhere from like Nina Simone all the way up to the 90s Nirvana,
Wow.
any sort of genre. Um, and one thing that I really learned about my voice is you get more control with time, you get more control with maturity, and really understanding there's probably a million different ways to sing one single line, but what's most true to you and how you want to sing it, and where does your emotion lie with that. I've learned so much from Macy, with not only with my voice, with writing, with performing, and just letting go and accepting your artistry.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more about the cardio and singing. What was that? What did that entail?
So Macy literally, okay, so
I don't
the
no
thought
idea about this.
process
So
the thought process behind this is that you're going to be exacerbated on stage, whether that be from nerves, adrenaline, or you're doing full-blown choreo. Now lucky me, I signed myself up to be in the pop lane, so there's a high probability that I'm probably going to be moving on stage and doing some sort of choreography, right? And so
oh, like
she really
skunk. Yeah.
to prep me for that. And she's like, if you can run and sing and learn to control your voice while completely out of breath, you can take on any stage, no matter. You can outrun or outdo your adrenaline, outdo your nerves, and certainly outdo, or at least learn to control your breath. So that was the thought process behind that. And she seriously, when 5 o'clock hit every single day, Tara, where's your video? I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so
So this was a
serious.
daily thing that she said, I want your video of you. How long was the training? I mean, I imagine you started slow and increased the intervals, but like how long would you,
Yeah, so
at your
I
best, would you sing and run for?
30 minutes. 30
Okay.
minutes. We started at 15 though, and slowly
Say that,
increased.
right. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if I can run for 15 right now. I just trying to get back to the gym again. It's always the same. Back
Oh
to
yeah.
the gym, and
Yeah.
then I feel real good about myself for a few months, and then blow it. But
Well,
go
what
ahead.
you
Feel sorry
do,
for my
what you
hair.
do
I
is
started doing on the bike.
what you
Start
do is
slow.
you enlist. You go to the military, go to boot camp, and start running and start singing cadence, and then you'll build
Yep.
up your cardio and singing voice there. So yeah.
Yeah,
I was always amazed with drill instructors, right? They could
that's a good point.
you could run 5 mile run and you got a drill instructor out there that's just running, singing cadence the whole time, while you're double timing. I'm like, oh my God, this is nuts.
It really
But
is, and it's
it
harder than you think.
takes your mind off the running though. So
100%. I mean, even with, so I've been doing cardio and singing training for twice a week, probably for 3 years now. But it wasn't until like I really revamped this last pop set, and this pop set, it has a lot of choreo in it. And when we were prepping for this tour, I actually had to taper off some of the dancing because I was just so shocked by how winded I was getting. And I'm a pretty fit gal. I used to be a bodybuilder, used to be a mini marathon runner. Like I'm a crazy person, right? And
Wow.
I said, guys, I was like, there's one thing that can't be sacrificed, and it's my voice. So I'm gonna have to tone it down a little bit, and to think I'm as pretty darn fit to be that out of breath. I think I was
Mm.
really shocked by. So I have so much respect and admiration for anybody that can dance and sing for hours on end. It's not me.
Absolutely. When you're young and you don't know that much stuff, and we kind of, I feel like the world. I mean, the world, at least in music and art, I don't know, feels maybe less cliquish with the way of the modern world, and everything's just there at your fingertips and short attention span, little sound bites of this and that, and people like all kinds of music. But back in the generation of growing up where you sort of found yourself teenager years and you were like identified right with music and kind of had those little groups and stuff, and it's like I think like a lot of people, at least in our generations, went through those phases where you're kind of like, yeah, metal or or country, and I hate, you're like really identified with one thing, and then the other things are kind of like, they suck, whatever, they don't do guitar solos, or they don't. No, it's just like, I mean, I have such, and as a musician, that's a nice thing too, because I think age and that together obviously expand your mind, or they should. But I mean, whether you're talking about Slayer, which I've been on this huge Slayer kick, it's ridiculous. I went from a huge female pop kick right to a big Slayer kick, like, and just, but both in their own right. The stamina is insane of like what these guys are doing on guitars and drums, and what these pop stars do, just like you said. I mean, in terms of, even if you were lip syncing, even if you're not singing, like that's a lot of choreography. It's a lot of work. It's hard work. It takes physical. You got to be in physical shape, but you actually put the singing on top of that for real. And that is such an impressive thing. Same thing when I watched any kind of like, Broadway performance. It's just mind boggling, like how much is going on, and all those things have to sync up and go together. The amount of practice. What kind of practice did you do with the group, the band? Tell us about the performing group that you tour with, and what kind of practice you guys did in prep for the tour.
Sure. So it has always been my husband and I on stage. Now, when we started writing music together in 2020, it was very much like a folky, alternative rock, kind of indie rock kind of deal. It was very acoustic. All we had was a guitar and a mic. And so my job really was just to sit next to him and sing. And then as it has progressed and our music has changed, well, we thought, well, shoot, we really need to figure out a way to fill out the stage a little bit and appropriately for this song. And Macy actually had this fabulous idea of, well, how about we have Praveen not only play the guitar, but also DJ. So that kind of takes care of all the instruments. You all can be self sufficient in this phase in your career. And then to fill up the stage a little bit more, and because it makes sense with your music, why don't you get a couple dancers?
Mm.
And so we held auditions in Louisville for some dancers back in November. And since November, we have been rehearsing once a week since then. Yeah, once a week since then, not only with the dancers. Praveen and I would rehearse at home, just in our bedroom with his little CDJ setup. And then in addition, I would also rehearse the songs by myself with a mic, either with my vocal coach or without. So all in all, we were auditioning, or not auditioning, rehearsing, tour brain, probably twice a day. So for the past 6 months,
Yeah.
I was a crazy person.
Yeah, I mean, it's a full-time job, right? It's a lot of prep, a lot of work goes into both preparing for shows, touring, and recording an album. And there's just so many components that have to work together to make it happen. And as the artist, ideally, that's how you get to spend your time, is preparing yourself and your body to be able to perform to the best of your ability. So,
Yeah, I
um,
really wanted to make Macy proud too. I think
yeah,
it was
sure, of
such an
course.
honor to be asked to be on this level of a tour. And so I was like, well, how do we get to be, the tier that she deserves to have an opener to be? And I was like, I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out. But what I know it requires is that you probably need to practice every single day and to know every single little thing like the back of your hand. So we figured it out, and that's what I did.
Tell us about your meeting. How did you meet Macy Gray, and about her taking under your wing? Tell us about all that.
Sure. So I met Miss Macy Gray after my wedding back in 2022. So we got married in San Diego, and we told our friends, we live in a very small condo. There's not a lot of room for clutter or items. So instead of a physical wedding gift, we would love it if you all could just give us memories. Nothing crazy. Let's go out to dinner. Let's go out to movies. It's just hard to pull people together, like after, everybody gets married, So I was like, if you all could just make an effort to hang out with us and like, let's solidify a night. That's all I want from each and every one of you. And so one of our very good friends, actually our groomsmen, said, well, I tell you what, I'm very good friends with Macy Gray, and she happens to be recording in a professional studio literally the week after your all's wedding. But if you all are available, would you want to come and meet her and check out the studio? Now, and I said, now, Michael, if this is a setup to tell somebody that like we sing or something, I was like, don't you dare, don't you dare. Because after our wedding, my
This Ashton Kutcher involved. Am I getting punked right now?
Exactly. And I'm like, this is
anybody wearing a John Deere hat?
To see a studio and to meet Macy Gray. Like, don't pull any funny business on me because I'm a Virgo and I like shit planned. Like, that's not in my plan to sing. My plan is to see Macy Gray, who was like an idol since I was a little girl, and to see a studio. And of course, I lost my voice after my wedding because I sang. It was a 70 Indian wedding. That's another story for another time. But anyways, I lost my voice and I told Michael, I was like, now especially, I was like, don't you dare tell her that I can sing because don't do that. We're here to meet Macy Gray and that's it. Don't fucking say anything. And of course, we get into the studio, her producer is there, and the producer starts talking about Colby Calais. And I said, oh my God, I love Colby Calais. I grew up on Colby. And he's like, well, do you know Bubbly? And I'm like, yeah. And he said, well, I actually co-wrote that song. I was like, oh my God, I know every word. I know every addition. I love it. And then, of course, my friend said, oh, yeah. She loves to sing. She can probably sing it for you. And so the producer said, oh, well, would you like to sing for me? That's exactly what I said. That didn't want to happen. But interestingly enough, and I think this is such a pivotal point in my life because old Terra, introverted Terra, would have said no, especially because I'd lost my voice. Mm-hmm. Trauma, hello, right down the road, right? But in that moment, in that 2-second moment, I thought to myself, well, you can say no and you know what's going to happen. Or maybe you say yes and well, guys,
just go for it.
This is what happened.
Was this all in San Diego or?
Huh?
Well, aren't you glad you sang? Aren't you glad your friend was like, sing for Macy Gray right now?
I'm so glad. So now the running joke is, I sang and, her producer liked it and asked if we had any originals that we had written. And of course we had a whole album that we wrote during COVID because everybody probably did write something during COVID. And so Praveen pulls a guitar off the wall. We start playing our demos and I guess they liked it, but I joked with Macy and I was like, did you fall in love with us because I had a raspy voice and I lost my voice that day? Because this is not baseline. We don't stay here. But it ended up working out. We all went out to the bar afterwards. Macy Gray sang me happy birthday and we kept in touch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was this, so that was all in one day, and where was this? Was still San Diego or in LA?
Oh, sorry. Tour brain.
I'm sorry. Wait.
This was in Thousand Oaks, so right out LA.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. And so literally that all just happened like that. You went into the studio to check it out. Your friends like sing, you sang, and then they're like, oh, you're great. All of a sudden you're playing demos and then you're going out to dinner and she's singing. All this just happened like in one day. That's amazing.
We even Ubered her home. She was like, hey, can I hop in the Uber with you guys? Can you drop me off? It's on the way. I'm like, yes, you yeah, Macy Gray. Yes,
did you have to pinch? Did you have to pinch yourself the next day? The next day you woke up pinching yourself, asking your husband, wait, now I just had the craziest dream that we went and hung out with Macy Gray and I sang and she liked it and we went and had dinner. Did this actually happen?
Right. Literally, that was the emotion in the morning. We're like, did we drink something funny? Did you remember the same thing that I remember?
That's incredible. And inspiring. That's so good. Yeah, to know that you never know when things can just everything can change like that. That's really, really amazing. And congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. There's just, yeah, you just never know. And, I've become such a yes person, especially with my, I don't want to say my growing age, but you get where I'm going with that. It's like, just become a yes person. You just never know.
That's true. Very true. I think, back to what you were saying about the trauma being an early teenager and that kind of stuff. I think that's the difference between, I imagine it's the same way for a lot of people. You might see things when you're younger and you're too afraid, or, I'm not good enough. I'm not prepared enough. I'm not this enough. I'm not that enough. At a certain point, you just have to go, you know what? I'm just going to jump in the fire and see what happens, because if you don't do it, you never know. And just like that story of like what you're just talking about, like, had you not, you never know. You just got to, and so at least for you, you were like, all right, I'll just do it, see what happens. And here you are.
Always try. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
And then you were like, little did you know you were going to be put in boot camp shortly after.
Oh my God. And she was so serious.
She's in the Uber like, yeah, this girl's going to boot camp. She has no idea. Yeah. She likes me now. Just wait till I make her ass run and sing for 30 minutes.
And the thing is, like, I was still in school. I was still in grad school at that point in time. So I was so used to having like my daily assignments and having my agenda. And then I'd have Macy assignment would go right into my agenda right next to my quiz the next day. I'm like, gee, what is life? What am I doing right now? But I will do it.
That's
I think she thinks
right.
That like, I will not.
Did you like leave your date book calendar sort of like open when you were in classes to be like, just sort of like, someone peeks over and they're like, oh, math quiz, Macy Gray meeting. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh yeah, sorry. I remember the first gig I ever had. I was in a history class in college, and I felt so cool to be like, yeah, I gotta head out to go to Waco for a show, and I'm like, you're just like, yeah, sorry. I gotta head out early today. I got a meeting with Macy Gray. No big deal,
I feel like,
You're running around campus singing.
Awkward talking about it. So it's almost as if I would do the opposite and just avoid it at all costs. I remember when my friends started figuring out what I was doing, and they're like, what do you mean? Like, you're gonna, who are you recording with? I'm like, oh, like, you just like Macy Gray. I'm just going out to LA and I'm gonna, they're like, what? Terra! It was awkward. I was like, I just don't know what's going to happen, and it's like, I don't like to get my hopes up. I don't want to get anybody else's hopes up. And so I was really more on the hush hush side of things, where people were kind of like pulling teeth to get me to talk about it. I was like, listen, we don't know what's going to happen, so I don't want to talk about it. I'm just going to do it. And when I have a product, then we can talk about it. Well, now we have a product, so now we're talking about it.
Yeah, no, that's as it should be. And what are you on? Like, does Macy have a record label, or what's the record label that you're on? I thought there was some kind of record label.
Yeah, she has Moon Slice and Lux Sublime. Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about, so you had, things have happened really quickly. And I honestly, it is a weird thing to say, but I was kind of liked it when I saw that your catalog was small, because I'm usually like, I'll start listening to something, I want to listen to the whole catalog, but it's just not realistic. It's just it's like remixes of this and that and all the singles, and then you're like, oh wait, well those are the same 8 songs. But like, yeah, you've got the one album, you put 5 of those songs out as singles. Actually, the 2 that, or there was a couple toward the end of the album. I think one of them was a single, but there was one I really liked that wasn't. Let me look at this on Spotify real quick. As I open it. But anyway, yeah, so you were basically put I think 5 singles out, then the album came out, and then you've got 2 singles since. Where are we? Oh, there we go.
If I ever meet Manager James Keenan at a jiu-jitsu seminar, I'm going to tell him about E-Skunk. Like, oh yeah, he sings, he plays guitar.
Yeah, then he could shame me in both singing and fighting, and be like, oh, does he have a wine company? Didn't think so, loser. He probably he probably rolls and sings, dude. That's what would be cool if you met him. Be like, hey, do you sing when you roll? Right? Isn't he like a, is he a black belt or a brown belt or?
He's a black belt now.
He's a black belt, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so Ignite Me is the latest single. Manifested is the single before that. Really like both those songs. I really like all the stuff I'm hearing. And what's really cool is to hear you talk about, I love the process of just seeing songs come alive, and artists always know this. I don't think the average listener might not understand this, because if you play a demo or something for your friends, like maybe there was demos of your husband playing guitar and you singing, and you play that, it might sound good, but to them, they're just like, oh, cool, you're singing with a guitar and nice, cool little tune. But then they hear the final finished production of it, and it's this whole nother thing that's just like, wow, this is amazing, you know? And so I love that process of between the embryo of a song, a handful of chords and a melody, some lyrics, whatever, going to that place. And, you know, yeah, because the music is, I really like listening to just the production and the pop, you know, especially in like pop, right? There's a lot of production elements happening in it. And so you really have to leverage those 4 chords or whatever the case is, right? So tell us kind of about, I guess, the process from how did that work with the producer and everything from you guys taking those bedroom demos to the finished product?
Sure. So we've done it a couple different ways. I would say the good majority of album 1 started with, we just started fresh in the studio, and Macy asked me, you know, what do you want your sound to be? Like, if you could choose additional instruments or sounds on top of just what you're already doing, what genre would you go in? And I said, you know, I really don't have a particular lane because I love all music. The most important thing to me is the story and being true to that and inspiring people. Because I love everything from, I find really inspirational rap, I find really inspirational pop, I find really inspirational R&B. So as long as it speaks to me, it'll speak to somebody else. And so we just started listening to beats in the studio. And a lot of album 1 just started with finding the beat. Does that beat speak to me in some way? And then I would go through my whole song list of ideas that I wanted to go through. And then as we progressed in our skill set, Praveen actually took it on himself. And Praveen my husband, has been a musician all his life. And he was actually a touring musician up until med school. And then med school came, and then he went to med school. So that's kind of our connection. Anyways, so Praveen actually started writing a lot of the beats and did a lot of the production come album 2. And with that, whether it was album 1 or album 2, Praveen and I have been involved in every step of the process, every note, every word, every stem. And we have a running joke with Praveen, because Praveen loves to use a lot of sounds in his production, and all 200 stems of them in a song. We go through every single one with love. Like,
yeah, I know. It'd blow most people's minds. You go in a studio and you're like, oh yeah, vocals and drums and bass. And it's like, no, there's like 100 tracks here. there's so much stuff going on. Like, you have no idea. Like, it's crazy. An interesting trick with production too is just knowing what not to put in, right? It's like so many times, especially it's almost like the more capable the musician or producer, that's why you need that group of balance, I think, right? Because it's like, oh, and then we can harmonize this and this, and you need someone to go, nah, this is good. This is fine. Maybe on the second half, maybe on the second verse. So, yeah, there was some really cool production elements that I enjoyed in your music. Yeah, so that's awesome. That was really kind of from you two guys. Now, back up, you said you met in med school when you were going back or going to school, the field was medicine. What is your degree in?
So I'm a doctor in nursing practice. So I'm a former family nurse practitioner, and I met Praveen in the medical field. His father was actually my preceptor, my mentor in my primary care rotation.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And when we met, he was like, do you like music? I was like, oh my God, I love music. He's like, literally.
No, ever since I'm 13, I hate music. I don't want anything to do with it.
But there just happened to be this local festival going on, and that had live music, and And he said, "Are you going this weekend?" I was like, "Of course I'm going. I want to miss it for the world." He was like, "Do you like bourbon?" I was like, "Of course I like bourbon. I live in Louisville, Kentucky." And from there, we just never stopped talking.
That's pretty cool. The way that kind of
Bourbon and music.
brought it back to you a little bit. Sounds like, you know, that's cool.
Yeah, yes.
Where was grad school? Was it in California?
Sure. I did. I did a couple rounds. I did my master's in Cincinnati, and then I did my doctorate at University of Louisville. Yeah, so I came home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I went to some community colleges. How about you, Vic? That's actually how Vic and I met. We met in a Spanish class in community college like 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
It was
No
like,
way!
yeah, it was like, yeah, it's 20 years ago now. And yeah,
Guys, that's so
we got
cool.
put on. We got stuck on a project. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. We were like, we sat, I guess, in a, you know, close to each other, and then we got in a group, and we both discovered that we like, that was really what it was. It was the catalyst. We discovered like, oh, we both like a lot of the same music, and we like to drink beer, and then we just started hanging out. And then when COVID happened, Vic was like, I was thinking, I'm doing like voice training, because Vic's a voice actor and does acting and stuff, and was doing this voice training. I'm like, you don't even need to do that. You already have an amazing voice. And then he somehow made his voice even more amazing. And he's like, yeah, let's start a podcast since I have an amazing voice now.
Oh my
It was like always something I wanted to do, but that's kind of was, yeah, it's funny how when you mentioned COVID, it was like, yeah, I had so much fun just writing songs and doing different collaborations and stuff that I never would have done because there was just all the time in the world to do it. And then we jumped into the podcasts like we were training for a tour, a pop tour, man. We were going 2 days a week, and then was like, this is a lot of work. Okay, let's slow down.
Yeah.
See, that's
once
amazing.
the world got back to normal, yeah.
Story.
But yeah, I basically have the same education as I had at that moment. Just I learned like 3 Spanish words, and that was about it. But well, cool. I mean, what a story. I mean, I love it that you guys met, and it kind of brought back in the music, and then you get married, and from that, this whole Macy Gray thing happens. It's really, really cool. And hey, let's talk about your music videos for a second. I've noticed kind of a similar aesthetic to a few of them, and I love actually. It's like they're like live action lyric videos. It's actually really cool. I've only seen this. We had one other guest. Do you remember? Was his name Chris Mardini?
Yeah.
I really liked that guy's music. He's a young guy, and but he had a really great. It was like the first song he ever wrote. I thought it was a great song, and he had a video that yours reminds me of a bit in terms that it was actually things happening, but it was a lyric video, right? I mean, like a live lyric video with a person in it. And I see that on a couple, like All I Have, and I forget what the other one was, Dreams in My Dreams. But did you work, is this a similar, who's doing the videos?
Sure. So we're very, very blessed that one of our very good friends also happens to be a videographer. So we've done a few of our videos with him. We're also really lucky that Praveen himself is a former videographer, photographer, and certainly knows his way around the camera. So I've become the lighting assistant. So sometimes we work with our friend, and sometimes it's just me and Praveen, and that we'll use that as like our spare like day date. Like, let's go shoot a music video together, and we have definitely some help chopping it up and editing it. But we thought, man, if we can do everything ourselves, then why not make our lyric videos like a little bit cooler and actually put us in them?
They're very cool. They look great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's
we had cool. A lot of fun with them. I think it's definitely just another extension of being creative and doing art, and it makes it so much more fun when you can do it with your significant other. Praveen really takes the time and effort to go through and think through what the scene should be, what order they should be, what we need to make sure that we capture. And we shoot until every single one of those scenes is off, and then we send it off for editing, and they've come together really nicely. I'm really proud of us on these. They're so fun.
Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. I've gotten into I'm not really. I can do it, but I kind of leave it to the pros. But I've gotten to where like I like the balance of like having the cameras, the professional shooting it and
Mhm.
editing. But the last video I did was very much like I've never like taken that much time on something in my life in terms of like from a visual aspect. Because you get me in a studio, like that's when my creativity comes out. If it's a music video, I'm like, or a photo, I'm just like, and then you're like, but eventually you're like, well, I got to think of something. And
Yeah,
once like it got there, then I started like, and then it grew into a full script, and then I knew exactly what I wanted, shot by shot, and and editing, and I mean that's the way it has to be, right? I mean, somewhere at some point, someone's got to have that vision. So it's awesome that. So I think your husband's name, what's his first name?
Praveen.
Praveen. I feel like you had said some other name earlier. I guess you were talking about someone else. Praveen. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like he's obviously that guy that kind of has those multiple skill sets, which in the modern age, a lot of artists, you kind of have to have those things. What about like photos and stuff? Do you guys do that on your end too, or for
Do
press
a lot of it on
stuff?
our end, but we work with a lot of excuse me. We try to utilize as many as of our friends and their skill sets as possible. So we're very lucky that we're in an artsy community with a lot of creative and alike minds. So if we're not using our friends, then it's Praveen behind the camera.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
And this is all you guys are still in Louisville or
And we call it Louisville.
Louisville?
We forget the S.
Louisville.
Yeah.
No, it's like the Louisiana Nolans. I'm from Nolans.
I was like, "Oh, you're not from here." We are still in Louisville, born and raised.
Louisville. I've never been there. I can't remember if I'm sure I've been through Kentucky, but I can't remember if I've played there or stopped there. I don't think I have. Vic, what about you? Have you been there?
No, but I want to go and check out the what's the distillery with Buffalo? It's Buffalo Trace Distillery, right?
Buffalo
I think.
Trace, yeah.
Is that in
really
Louisville or no? I forgot how to say it. Is that
Lowell?
Is that Lowellville?
I don't think
They got some fine bourbon up there in
I think it's
Lowellville.
close.
I think is maybe like an hour or
Yeah.
so away, but we have a ton. We live in downtown Louisville. We have Angels Envy right down the
Oh,
street.
okay.
We
Yeah.
have Rabbit Hole right down the street. So if you all ever come through, please let us know. We'll be happy to take you on a plethora of bourbon tasting.
Oh, this sounds great.
Now is the time to come.
What's that?
Kentucky Derby, because the
Oh, yeah.
a holiday for the entire town.
Just everything shuts down and
Everything
everybody goes
shuts
and watches.
There's bourbon everywhere. There's it's a good time. That's the time to come to Louisville.
I'm gonna have to open up a jiu-jitsu school in Louisville and
Louisville, yeah.
Louisville.
Everybody drinks bourbon when they're done rolling. I kind of like this idea. Definitely definitely not before you roll. Like that would be horrible.
No.
But I'm trying to think oh my gosh, have you been to how much have you traveled a lot in the States or now you did the European tour? Have you toured the States or mainly regional playing or what's that like?
Just one-stop shop. So I haven't really done a state tour, but traveled independently, yes.
Where the reason I'm bringing this up is because I was up in that region of the country last year, actually right about this time, and my dad is he was a history professor for years, huge history buff, military history, Civil War, loves it. I don't know why he doesn't just move to Pennsylvania and be a battlefield tour guide, but so I've been up in that neck of the woods a few times, and I love that region. It's very beautiful, and just but one of the most beautiful places I've ever been that I just loved so much was Harper's Ferry. Have you been there?
Oh, no, I have not. Tell me about it.
It's not far from you because Harper's Ferry has all this history of like Lewis and Clark and a trading post, and then the John Brown, forget what not activist, I guess, whatever. That a lot of history there. But there's this point where it's just so amazing where the Potomac River and some other river come together, and you're literally standing where you're looking at. We were in West Virginia. Across one river is Virginia. Across the other river is Maryland, and you can walk across a bridge to Maryland. So we literally walked there and walked back. but it was just a serene, beautiful place. I loved it, and I feel like it's probably like 1,000 miles away. I feel like that's not too far from you. Like I have a pretty good idea of the general geography of this country.
Yes.
But yeah, all that stuff that I've been to, like in that, like Louis, have you ever been to Asheville, like in North Carolina? Like I love.
Sadly, it's on my bucket list. It's gorgeous from the
Right?
pictures that I've seen.
So I guess where I'm going with this is Louisville. Is that kind of the same type of scenery?
Yeah, I think it's a city, right? So we're a little more urban, but we definitely have beautiful suburbs. And then as you get to like your drive to Lexington, where it's a little more spread out, I mean, it's just gorgeous here. There's nothing like home.
Well, I never ever remember, is it on the wagon or off the wagon? Which one is not drinking?
Oh,
On the wagon.
So if you're on the wagon, you're not drinking. Do you know where
Yes.
this comes from, Vic? Can you explain it?
No.
Okay, never mind. So I'm on the wagon, but when I'm off the wagon, I'm going to come up there and have some bourbon.
excellent. Yes, please let us know.
And you definitely will not have to twist Vic's arm. Like he's already gonna be scouting out jujitsu locations. Like I think Vic, you traveled. You're not traveling like you used to, right? Nowadays?
Oh no, not at all.
Like,
No.
yeah, you were traveling like every week, like
Something like
so
that.
you've kind of been everywhere. But never Kentucky, huh?
No, North Carolina, mostly Northeast.
Yeah, I remember you go to New York and
yeah,
stuff.
Massachusetts, New York, yeah.
Hey, Terra, do you have a favorite place that you played? Do you have a favorite place in Europe? Was this your first time to Europe, or had you been there before? Tell us about just what that's like being over there touring and what you really liked about it.
Oh my gosh, it was a dream, y'all. I am very blessed to say I have been to Europe before. Not many countries, but my best friend is Danish, so I've been to Denmark. But on this tour, we saw 10 cities in 10 countries. No, we saw 15 cities, 10 countries in a matter of 3 weeks. Gosh, we had so much fun. I don't know if I necessarily can pick out one particular city because they all were so different and so amazing at the same time. But there is something about the venues that had standing crowds
Mm-hmm.
and the energy that you get with a standing crowd makes you feel just on top of the world. And if I had a nickel for how many moments where, people were just raising their hands and you could just see that they were letting go, and maybe they didn't necessarily understand what I was singing about, but they felt it.
Right.
And to get that type of energy, and it's like, we did this, I did this, we did this. That's amazing. Like, this is what it's about. I don't care what else we do in our career, because I feel like I have made it and I can die happy now, because this is a type of feeling and emotion that not many people really get to experience, and it's so unbelievably hard to explain.
Yeah.
But that is, you look up at the light, you look down at the people, and they're all just having a blast, and it's just like, this is what it was about. This is what it's about,
All that boot camping paid off.
Oh, oh my gosh.
Hey, do you have a favorite? Was there a favorite country or a favorite cuisine over there?
I'm very lucky that I did not have one bad meal. We were very well fed. But, I did my research, and every time we went to a country, I tried to look up what is the main dish that you should get in this country. So I cheated a little bit and made sure I got the designated dish. But God, everything was so good.
Did you eat any weird stuff? Did you eat escargot?
What did I eat? Did I eat anything weird? Nothing weird. I have boring answers for you. I didn't eat anything.
No,
weird.
that's probably smart.
Really good.
Probably smart. In it, and you didn't get, you never know. Like, things can happen. You can get sick. The thing, I one time, I had a delicious meal. It was like Middle Eastern food. I won't go into a few horror stories I've had on tour on those really rough, like DIY van tours. But Oh my God. There was one time in Detroit and the food was amazing, but it went through me like, and I was, oh my God, on stage. And then immediately after stage, I was like running to the bathroom. So the band loads the van, but because I was in the bathroom, one of my guitars I had got put off to the side of the stage did not make it. We show up in Ohio the next day and we're unloading the van. And I'm like, where's my Les Paul?
Oh,
Yeah. So, but fortunately they had it. We were able to go back and get it and everything was fine. But yeah, no. So once again, I mean, maybe all maybe all that training too prepared you to be strong and vigilant. If any toxins entered your body was like, no, not getting away with this. One thing I want to ask before we go is
Sure.
the only toxins you were sweating out was bourbon, obviously, because it's just in your blood. Like there's nothing you can do about that. It's where you were born. It's in the water in Louisville, I've read. Yeah. So I think from someone like you, what advice would you give to young people, particularly young women who aspire to do these kind of things, to follow their passions and their dreams and their art, and you going through some setbacks and some mental, things that made you feel like maybe you weren't going to happen, and here you are now. Like, what would your advice be to encourage someone like that, or what mentality should they maintain? You know what I mean?
Sure. I think one of the biggest pieces of advice I love to give to people is do not let fear steer your ship. I let fear steer my ship for so long, and I don't regret my degree at all because it's a very nice safety net if all else fails. And I feel like my path was meant to be my path. And I'm very grateful for that. And I think it helped to give me a lot of confidence. But at the same token, I wish I would have been a little more brave and tried to really fully commit a little bit sooner, or at least tell people. I held it to myself for so long, and the moment that I started letting go of the fear and the doubt and worrying about it, what other people thought, my life truly did change. And it's such a nice mental space to be in. I think it does come with age and being in your third decade of life of just, you know what, I'm going to try. I've done what I need to do. I made mom proud, and now I'm going to live for me a little bit, and I'm going to try this even if the world thinks I'm crazy. And it's the best decision that I've made. And I hope any little girl that has a dream and is terrified to go on stage, the only thing that's going to get you out of that fear is to keep trying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something I really enjoy working with younger people is seeing them. Sometimes you get someone, they're so shy, and then when you see them come out of their shell, a whole new world just opens up. And music is a great tool for that. I mean, so many things are a great tool for that, but I think that the key thing is you just got to show up, and you got to go through the uncomfortable moments, and it'll get better, and you'll get more comfortable with it. And it's hard. It's hard to do that as an adult, let alone a child, But I think just having someone says, no, I can assure you that if you do this, it will be better. That's great advice. Something else popped in my head, but I forgot what it was.
well,
Happens to me all the time.
Yeah, like I'm you now at the beginning of the podcast. I have 1 hour, and then I'm like, bleh. And then I just ramble on while Vic goes, "Oh God, help us!"
Right,
But I've contained my rambling today. I think this was a good podcast. Terra, what we usually do is we actually make a playlist for the artists that come on here, and we'll put some of your songs. If there's any particular songs of yours that you want us to put on, we'll be happy to do that. And then also just and I say this like every time about like how I love when we meet. Not only when you meet a new guest, you hear their music, you meet them, you get their perspective. There's that, that kind of bond. But like, also, I've just discovered so much amazing music from our guests but just from these playlists that Vic had this idea coming in this year, and it was just like these stuff I've never heard of, and you're like, oh wow, here's an amazing new thing, right? So why don't we get about 10 artists or so? Maybe if you can whittle it down, if you can give us a specific song, that's even better. But what are some of your primary influences when you were young and all that? By the way, back to your story, this was absolutely your path, right? Because by going to med school, you met your husband, who's now your musical partner. So it's like it had to happen that way, right?
I'm like, it's so cheesy, but I really do think, I'm like, the universe just aligns itself. Just
No,
trust it, It all works
I think
out.
so.
It all works
And
out.
those terrible moments, those hard moments, like that's just that'll serve to, give you, teach. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vic. Well, I was about to say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Teach is a better way. Yes. Okay. So do you have any songs of yours that are like, oh, this one? I mean, we'll obviously put your latest singles on there. Like,
Sure. Our latest singles, Ignite Me and Manifested, are very near and dear to my heart. Lights Down Low
What
is another slow one if you want a slow one.
I was going to ask, what is the song that you sung for Macy and her producer? Is that on Spotify? Is that one of the?
It is not. So we're working on an acoustic version of just our original demos. But
cool.
that one that I sang for her is called "Take Me Home."
Uh-oh. You literally just dropped out when you said it. What was it?
So that one hasn't been released yet. We're waiting for the right time to work on
okay.
that particular album because it's going to be such a different sound, and I think we'll kind of do a throwback to how it started. But what I sang for Macy was a song called "Take Me Home."
Who does that song, or is that's an original song?
That's an original song. It was me and Praveen.
Oh, okay. That's the one. I got you.
It hasn't been released yet, but when it is, yeah, she's a special one. So we got the right time.
All right. What, as far back as you can think, and I don't know, influences that you might have gotten from your family or mother.
Sure.
What was some early stuff you remember that was influential to you that made you want to sing?
I'm a 90s baby, so I love anything from Alanis Morissette. I love the Cranberries. I love Jewel. Outside of the grunge kind of era, I really, really loved 90s R&B as well. I loved Aaliyah. Still love Aaliyah. And TLC, Celine Dion, Mariah Carey. Like those were my early influence. It was like every genre, and then of course I got some Britney in there too, But as I've gotten older, I love Halsey. I love Adele. Love Billy. Yeah. Love their sound. Love their lyrics. Love what they stand for. So those are my favorite.
Yeah. Billie Eilish really. I'm assuming you're talking about Billie Eilish. Is that what you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So not to be confused with Billy Idol.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah, Billy. Oh, yeah. Well, that's what so you weren't talking about Achy Breaky Heart. Okay, I'll scratch that up. That's good. It's like, my God, what is this woman listen? Okay. So Billie Eilish, I was kind of like, I had some students or whatever, and Billie Eilish, and I heard the name, and you're like, okay, pop. What? I just never listened or really gave it a chance. I wasn't like a hater, but I was just like, eh. And then I was on a Lady Gaga rabbit hole, and I saw her performing with her brother on Howard Stern, just them two, right? And I was like, holy crap, like this is really good. And I ever since then, yeah, I've totally been a fan. She's great. It's funny. We had, I was kind of thinking a little bit about Ruthie Kraft earlier, Vic, just kind of some, just sort of the overcoming adversity, right? And the story, of different artists and stuff. And there's this artist here that she's incredible. This girl, Ruthie Kraft, you ought to check her out. But yeah, she had Adele. Adele was one of her artists. The last artist we had on Goodnight Sunrise from Toronto, they had Alanis. Like, so we got Alanis on their playlist. I don't know if we've ever had any Cranberries or Jewel. Yeah, these are TLC. Like, these are good throwbacks. What about like In Vogue?
Oh yeah, don't let go. Yeah,
dude, I love it. In Vogue was so badass. We were like on a boat party the other day, and like someone was playing all 90s. That's all they were playing was like 90s everything. And In Vogue came on. I was like, yeah. Actually, I actually think I was thinking of In Vogue, and literally it was one of those weird serendipitous things where I was like, and then something came out. I was like, oh, who's this? And they're like, In Vogue, and I was like, of course it is, because this sounds awesome. So now.
Yes.
What if we were going to get specific on songs? Are you able to whittle these down a little bit?
Oh yeah. Oh, we're making a playlist. That's what we're doing, aren't we?
Let's do an Alanis song other than You Ought to Know, since we already did that one.
Yeah.
You Ought to Know again.
Oh my God, I can't think of it. I love Ironic, but what is it? Like anyone, what is is that one called?
Is that on her first album?
I think so.
Yeah, I know. That's like another hit, and I can't think of it either.
Sorry, we can put down Ironic. She's a classic.
Now I want to know that song. What was that? There was like another. Oh, was it Hand in My Pocket? No, was that it?
That's not it, but that's another great one.
That is another good one.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'll have to come back and just listen to the melody. I'll listen to you singing it, and then I'll find it.
Okay.
Right.
If
I'll figure out what that.
Great one. They're all great. She does know.
They're all great.
I love
this whole playlist will just be Alanis Morissette, and that's it. Okay, Cranberries. What do you got for the Cranberries? Okay, yeah, Zombie's a classic.
That's favorite karaoke song.
Oh, okay. Jewel. Talk about a story, right? Jewel with living in her car with her mom, that whole thing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Crazy. You Were Meant for Me.
Did you play that at your wedding?
No.
Was it super sappy?
Oh, I can't believe I didn't play that because that's another karaoke favorite.
Vic used to try to woo me with that. He would play it, like always have it going. Like as I finally figured out what was going on. I was like, sorry, Vic, it's never going to happen. I'm trying to place Aaliyah. What is some Aaliyah stuff?
Yeah. Would you say to have your way if you give up and try again? She does the Dr. Dolittle. Are You That Somebody?
Oh, okay.
She does a lot with like Timbaland.
Yeah, I feel like I'm confusing her with someone else, but now I see. Okay.
Love Aaliyah.
Hang on. Am I thinking of the right person? All right. Well, I go. Okay, TLC.
TLC. Waterfalls. For sure.
Oh, yeah. Good one. I kept thinking of Scrubs. Waterfalls is such a great song. You know, Waterfalls, like, go ahead, Vic.
Oh, every time I hear TLC.
I gave you my karaoke playlist.
I'm always reminded of what's the Will Ferrell movie with Mark Wahlberg, The Other Guys? Did you ever see it?
Yeah, but I don't remember they had a TLC. What did he do? Like Scrubs or something?
No, it was Michael Keaton was their like lieutenant or something, and
they
were doing something. He's like, "Hey, I don't want no scrubs," and they're like,
"Yes,
quote TLC," and he's like, "What are you talking about?"
I do remember that.
He's like, "Okay, no heat, just creep." Like so, that whole movie, he's throwing out TLC songs.
Waterfalls. Did y'all see the movie? Oh man, what was I think it was called like Meet the Millers or We're the Millers. We're the Millers. Yeah. Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
That was so awesome when they did the waterfalls scene. That kid just raps it. All right, Celine Dion.
Oh gosh. That when you That's the Way It Is.
I love the way you hum the melody, you sing the melodies, and then you're like, that's the title. You gotta sing to the title. That's the way it is.
Literally, I'm just waiting for someone to invite me on a 90s. You all should do this on a 90s talk show host and be like, "Can you name that song or can you sing that song?" And I have a feeling that I'm going to do pretty darn well, but I may have augmented the lyrics because I was like 6 when all these songs came out. But I know every single one of them.
I love this idea, so we're gonna have to put you to the test and do that. Yes. We have a special '90s Guess That Tune boot camp we're gonna put you through.
Yes, love it. Let's do it, y'all.
So now, I hate to do this, but if I may, I'm gonna pick the Britney Spears song.
Oh, okay. Oh, what are you gonna go with? There's so many.
I'm gonna go with Toxic, and the reason I think that's the song that is in the movie, what's that movie? Bridesmaids, you know that one?
Yes.
It's a hilarious movie with Kirsten Wiig. she's getting thrown off the plane, and this song comes on. I remember when I saw it with my girlfriend at the time, and I was just like, that's who does that? It's a cool song. And she was like, Britney Spears. And I was like, oh my God. I had to say it like that too, like a 14-year-old. Oh my God. No. So like, I was like, well, shit. All right. Way to go, Britney. Like, I mean, it's cool song. So, but I will let you, it is you're the guest. If you absolutely veto Toxic, I will put another Britney Spears song on.
We love Toxic. Honestly, it gives me tour nostalgia because Macy Gray would play Britney Spears Toxic more often.
Hell yeah. There you go, Macy. She knows what's going on. See?
It's a great
There you go.
Song,
Yes. Awesome. All right, Adele.
There's so many. Fire to the Rain. Watch it. Is that what it's called? It's called Fire to the Rain.
I'm trying to think back now when Adele.
Yeah, Fire to the Rain.
I'm going to look up Adele real quick because I'm trying to think when she first came around. Oh yeah, all of her albums are just I didn't even so 19 probably wasn't, it was 21 was her first like super big album, I think. There was 25? A song that 21 Rolling in the Deep. Wow, that is got a lot. Oh yeah, Set Fire to the Rain. Those are those are those like billions of plays category. Like that's trying to see which ones. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so that was one of the two really big ones from that record. I don't think I've heard Adele's. What's Adele's latest album sound like? Have you heard it?
I'm bad.
I wonder if it's like moving in a new territory. If it's kind of either way, it's got billions of plays. We know this. Okay.
Yes.
Billie Eilish. Can we pick a Billie Eilish song?
Honestly, I just can't get out. What is the latest one she just dropped? Taken over. Not What I Was Made For. I just can't get that out of my head. I'm still singing it over and over. It's just so beautifully done. Her voice is. I love the lyrics. We're gonna go with that one.
I feel like this would just make. Got it down. This would make so many men, and that's on the new album, right? I guess you said it was her latest single. I guess right. So the new album came out, and this will just make all men's men cringe, Vic. Like I think I said this once before too. Like, so last year when I was in Gettysburg, staying at a very famous like Gettysburg house, like it was like all that and like all the stuff, right? The whole shebang. Billie Eilish's album came out, and you better believe I'll never forget because I listened to Billie Eilish's new album in Gettysburg. So I don't know. It's just, isn't it weird? Have you guys noticed like certain album, like there are moments in time, right? Like where an album, like way back when I was 19, Vic, and I did jujitsu for 5 minutes back then the first time. Like
not the second time you did it.
Not the second time I did jujitsu for 5 minutes and broke my rib, but the first time, and it was like, I remember a Typo Negative album from that time. I don't know what it is. There's just certain albums and certain moments in time when you're just like, that album was it. And Billie Eilish will forever be connected to Gettysburg.
To Gettysburg.
So, yeah. You got any albums like that? I feel like we've had this conversation. You got any like that, Vic?
Me? Sound of White Noise from Anthrax.
Dude, so you know how I went on the big Slayer kick? I guess I'm just going on the big four kick right now. And so and then I've never really listened to Anthrax. I'm like they're kind of I just don't know their stuff, right, as well.
Yeah.
And so I started, it's so funny you said that because I was just reading about Anthrax. I've been doing these like Wikipedia deep dives. And I went and listened to the John Bush Anthrax, that album, man. And Only is such a great song.
Great album.
So good.
The whole album's good.
Yeah, I'm kind of moving on that now. I'm in this like I said, I went from this like modern female pop artist kick that I was like super on to like now I'm in the like 80s thrash metal kick right now. But
now we're talking.
So speaking of 80s thrash metal, what In Vogue song do we want to throw on this list?
Is it just called Don't Let Go?
I have no idea. Was it one of their big? Was it?
You have the right to lose control. Let's see. And but I'm pretty sure it's just Don't Let Go. Yeah.
I'm like you. I'll know them when I see it. Yeah, it's the first one on there. Okay. Free Your Mind. That was. I'm trying to think what those big Free Your Mind.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There was something. I think there was something about In Vogue that I liked. That because like that was when I was like teenage metal boy. Like I don't know. They had like anytime a band had like a riff, like I would be like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like remember like Janet Jackson, like what was it, like Black Cat? Like she had a couple like kind of riffy tunes that I like. I think in secret I was like, yeah, man, that's pretty cool.
I love some Janet now too. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we got a pretty good playlist here. If there's anyone else that you're like, oh, and this person, we can add them. But I think at this point we just need to get your favorite Slayer song.
I'm gonna let you.
All of them. It's like the Michael Bolton answer in Office Space. I celebrate the whole catalog.
All of it.
Yeah. Just call me Mike. All right?
Yeah. That's really what your boot camp is. It's not only running and singing, it's singing Slayer. So like you can't possibly destroy your voice after that.
Right? Yeah. And she's been through enough for that.
Well, cool. Funny. Terra, this has been great talking to you. Like super cool. Really appreciate you sharing your story with us. Anything? Where can people find you online, website? Where's the best way for people to find you?
Sure. You can find me. I'm on Instagram at terra.renae. You can find me on my website. That'll also have all my social link platforms on there. It's just terrarenae.com. But I'm everywhere. If you want to find me on YouTube, I'm there too. Terra Renae. Facebook, also Terra Renae. TikTok, also Terra Renae.
And for all you 21 plussers, if you're ever in Louisville and want some bourbon, want a bourbon tour, you know who to call. Is the drinking age 21 in Kentucky? 20, or is it 18? 21? Okay.
16.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like Louisiana where it's just like, you've been born here, have a beer and a cigarette. You're 1 year old now. You're a man. You need to be at the bars till 6 a.m. Cool. Totally. All right. Well, oh, wow. So stuff actually, wait, did you just say the bars are open until 4 a.m. there?
4 a.m.
Vic, what the hell are we doing? What are we doing living in Texas? I had no idea. Everything after COVID, everything closes at like 10 p.m. here. It's crazy. You can't, people like me that are up in the middle of the night, you can't do anything unless you're in Las Vegas or New York. But at least I guess I found a third destination where I can go do things in the middle of the night.
You gotta come to Louisville.
That's not Nolens, but Louisville. One of those two spots. Sound like party towns. Cool. All right. You got anything else, Vic?
No. Good.
Sorry, Terra, you were saying something.
I said, I just appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me. This has been a lot of fun.
Our pleasure. Terra Renae, everybody. Go check out her music. It's amazing. Great videos. We wish you more and more success. So awesome what you got going on. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you on a U.S. tour at some point. So if not, we'll just come up there and have bourbon.
There we go.
That's right.
Thank you, Terra.
Bye, guys. Thank you all so much.
All right. Hang tight, and we'll see everybody next time.